Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Fulberg. I'm Vice President of Education at the Eye Care Partners Innovation Center. Welcome to our website, where you can learn a lot about our brand new collection of fellowships in refractive, cataract, and anterior segment surgery. So before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about Eye Care Partners. We're the nation's leading provider of clinically integrated eye care with 300 ophthalmologists, 700 optometrists, more than 700 affiliated ECP practices, Eye Care Partners practices. We have presence in 18 states and over 30 markets. And the interesting thing about us is we are physician-led through a medical executive board. And one of those medical executive boards works very closely with the Eye Care Partners Innovation Center. What is the Innovation Center? It's about education. That's where this initiative comes from. It's a technology incubator. It does a lot of research. We're home to over 200 clinical trials. And of course, we're interested and engaged in quality and delivery of clinical care with a clinical data warehouse and development. So enough about Eye Care Partners. Let's dive into the fellowship. So here's the thing. When you're a resident and you're finishing up, sometimes you think you have a choice between either academics or private practice. We're offering you a third pathway, something that will allow you to adapt to what you can bring to ophthalmology. An emphasis on private practice with some academics with an interest in private practice. So you can sculpt a career at Eye Care Partners. And the refractive cataract anterior segment surgery is one gateway into an Eye Care Partners environment. So what happens in this fellowship? Well, we're going to present opportunities to you to enhance your medical and surgical skills, especially in the complex area of refractive cataract surgery. You're going to get and to learn practice management strategies from premier practices inside Eye Care Partners and premier mentors. We're going to engage you in clinical trials so that you learn how to work with industry. We're going to sharpen your skills as an educator. How? Every site where we offer an RCAS fellowship, that's affiliated with an academic program. We'll talk more about it in a second. And we're going to help you to map out your career through Eye Care Partners, refractive cataract anterior segment surgery, RCAS. So we are offering 3 fellowship slots, one each in 3 different practices. There's one with Dr. Tim Page in Southeast Michigan, suburban Detroit. Dr. Page is an innovator and educator, holds patents. It's a magnificent expertise in this type of surgery. Another opportunity is with Dr. Ed Meyer at the Cincinnati Eye Institute, also well positioned to be a leader in this field and help you along. And finally, with Dr. John Shepard in Norfolk, Virginia at Virginia Eye Consultants. So the program in Michigan is associated with the Oakland University William Beaumont School of Medicine, the program in Cincinnati with the University of Cincinnati, and the program in Norfolk with East Virginia Medical School. So you can see that even inside this program, you have an academic overlay. And here's the important thing. All 3 of these fellowship slots are supervised carefully by Eye Care Partners Fellowship Governance Board, which contains ophthalmologists with the highest level of academic standards. How do you apply for an RCAS fellowship? Through the San Francisco match. And you will see the numbers of each program on the screen, and throughout the website, there will be references. You can apply to one or all 3 programs through the San Francisco match. So why would you even want to take such a fellowship? You could say, look, I can graduate from my residency. I can start earning money to pay down my medical school debt. Why would I want to take a year of a fellowship? Because this fellowship is designed to shorten the ramp-up time between your graduation from residency and peak performance as an ophthalmologist clinically and in terms of your science knowledge and skills. Now, how do we know that that is possible? Well, there was a pilot program run a couple of years ago in one of our practices. And so we took a resident directly out of their program right after graduation, put them into a practice. And then another resident came into the same practice at the same time, but with a 6-month pilot study of something that kind of resembled RCAS. And here's the comparison between the two of them. So if you take a look at the first column, you'll see that, during the fellowship, the fellow is lagging behind the person in practice. But take it along, because by the end of month 5, the fellow is outperforming the person who went directly from residency into practice. And you know that difference in performance stayed high even after the graduate of the fellowship program at the end of 6 months went into practice. So for the remainder of the time that we tracked this pair, if you had done this little pilot study program, you were ahead of the game. So in the long run, you're much better off coming into an RCAS fellowship because you are ready to go, set to go and practice at peak performance. So the other thing that we can say is, look, it's not obligatory, you don't have to do this, but if you are really great in this fellowship, we'd like you to hang around and there are opportunities for you. Not mandatory, but an opportunity to stick with ECP and come into one of our practice sites. So of what benefit is RCAS? Well, one benefit is to you because we're going to compress that ramp up time to peak productivity and skill. The second is to us because, we're hoping that the best of you are going to come in and join us and stay with us for a career. But it also benefits the general public. How does that happen? All right, so we all talk about the fact that we need more ophthalmologists. But we can't manufacture more ophthalmologists. Why? Because the number of people coming out of residency is fixed by the federal government, 1995 standards by Medicare. So we can't increase the number of residents, and we can't stop ophthalmologists from leaving their career, going into retirement, doing something else. So the best way that we can enhance accessibility, access to vision care, is to make the vision care more accessible through increased efficiency of the practice. And our practices are very efficient. And also by having ophthalmologists who are at the peak of their skill level. So you can see how RCAS is contributing to access to vision care throughout the United States. And of course, if you take a look at ECP, Eye Care Partners' presence right now, you can see that again, 18 states, over 30 markets, we have an ability to contribute to the future of eye care. So we hope that you spend some time on this site. We hope that you enjoy what you see. And if you have questions about RCAS, any questions, there's an email address where you can write to us. I'm going to tell it to you right now. It'll display throughout the site. It is eyecare-partners.com/fellowships. So one more time, eyecare-partners.com/fellowships. Thanks for visiting the website. Please stay in touch.